We got a new and final gameplay trailer for Jedi Survivor yesterday at Star Wars Celebration, and now that I've had a day to watch it so many times, I think it's time we go scene by scene and do a quick breakdown of what we saw in this trailer. So let's talk about it. The first sequence is Cal in a very bright orange sandstorm of some sort that we've seen in the previous trailer, specifically from the story trailer. I'm assuming this is the same planet, and perhaps even a continuation of that same cutscene. Next, we have stormtroopers shooting at Cal in an area that looks similar to another area we saw from the story trailer. The hieroglyphics we can see behind Cal here are the same ones you see behind Marin from the story trailer, or similar ones at least. So this might be the same sequence. Perhaps this is where we meet Marin in the gameplay. As Lunar Squadron is pointed out in their breakdown, these hieroglyphics are ones that are found on the planet Jedha, so I assume if that's correct, this will happen there. Next, we see Cal running through another sandy area with some TIE fighters flying over his head. Assuming all of the other sequences so far are on the planet Jedha, it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that this would also be Jedha, since it's a very sandy planet. Next, we get a Seer cutscene that we've seen before. I'll talk more about Seer later on in her next cutscene. But next, we have Cal fighting some troopers with his double blade. The area that they're in looks very much like Coruscant, which has now been, we already knew it was in there, but it has now been officially confirmed by Stig Asmussen that it will be a planet that we'll get to explore even just a little bit in Jedi Survivor. Next, we get a cutscene with the Tronto shell, which is an adorable but huge dinosaur-like creature that you run into on Kobo. It's a fun little interaction, and I know from my experience at the preview event that this happens early on during your adventures in Kobo, but it is a very cute and touching cutscene. The next scene we see is Cal wall running into a bunch of stormtroopers with a lot of fire around them. This seems like it might be in the middle of a large standoff of some sort, or a large-scale fight that we'll be involved in. In this scene, we also get to see some stormtrooper dismemberment, which we've been missing in other trailers. Next, we see Cal looking at a hologram of an individual who I first assumed was maybe Cordova, but looking closer, it's very possible this might be a new NPC or character we've never met before, or a character that they put there to fill in so we don't know what character Cal is actually talking to here. Next, we get this amazing cutscene of a speeder chase with Cal and Scout Trooper. This scene is absolutely so cool, getting to see the Scout Trooper fly into the air and get hit right into a TIE. This is for sure one of my favorite parts of the trailer. You can also see Bode in this scene, so we'll be traveling with him at this point in time. Next, we get the shot of Cal we've seen before in the police ship, but then we get a cool shot of the outside of the police ship that we've not seen before. And in this shot, we get to see the Jedi Temple overtaken by the Empire, which is really ominous, but cool to see. Next, we get an amazing shot of some stormtroopers on what can only be, or what is seemingly Coruscant. They just look so cool. I hope we'll be able to explore this area more, even if it's just a little bit. Next, we have a shot of Marin, Grease, and Bode on the Mantis. I just love this little family, and I can't wait to see how Bode fits into their dynamic. It's kind of cool to see Bode in the flight seat next to Grease. I wonder if he'll be a new co-pilot. Next, we get to see a cool shot of this droid who I maybe got to meet during my adventures at the preview event. This droid is really fun and has one of the ancient devices that we know open up certain Jedi chambers from other trailers, and I'm very excited for all of you to meet this amazing character. The next shot we get is of Cal and Bode in a relatively dead-looking saloon on Kobo. Next, you get a look at the Rancor, which you get to fight on Kobo. It's going to be a hard but fun boss fight early on in the game. Next, we get another shot of our friends Marin, Beatty, and Grease getting off of the Mantis, and I just love them so much. The next shot, we're back into the orange sandstorm kind of weather again, where Cal is fighting an AT-ST. Cal is doing some really cool maneuvers here, and the amazingly fun-looking finishing movement, where Cal launches the driver of the AT-ST into the air. We just love a good Cal yeet, and Cal seems to love them too. Next, we get to see a team fight with Cal and Marin fighting a KX Imperial droid. I cannot wait to see how these group fights work in the game. It's one of the things I'm most looking forward to, actually. This seems like it will also be on Jedha. Next, we get more Marin and Cal fighting companion sequences where they team up taking on a machine, which I assume is the same one we see them running from in the story trailer, by building up something utilizing their magic and force to work together. This just looks so good, and I love them so much. Next, we get to see Rayvis and Cal fighting each other. I didn't know if we would get a fight sequence with Rayvis since he's such a hard-to-fight species as being a Gendai, and I'm very excited and scared for this boss fight. He's using a mace-like weapon that looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt, and this gameplay just looks so cool. Next, we finally get to see the droidicas. This is the first time we've seen these in the trailers, even though we've known since the IGN coverage they were going to be in the game. This fight looks so cool, and I can't wait to fight these in a few weeks. Next, we get another sequence with Cere, who is doing the voiceover for this trailer. We've only seen a few clips of Cere so far, and they've all been in similar spaces. From this, and the fact that we've not seen Cere outside of her library or on the Mantis, I assume Cere will probably be a somewhat minor character in this game compared to the rest of the Mantis crew. Next, we get a cutscene sequence where we can see Cal and the High Republic Jedi force fighting over one of the devices that we know open up certain Jedi chambers. We can also see the droid we saw in a clip earlier in the background, strung up or trapped in some way. This is also another potential confirmation that the High Republic individual we will be interacting with will be more of an enemy than a friend, but we'll see in a few weeks. Next, we see Cal running around on Kobo on a Neko, and we see the Mantis fly by, being flown perhaps by Grease or Bode. The next cutscene, we see Cal fighting or training a lightsaber individual. This, I assume, is the first time we've ever seen this specific individual. Some people were wondering if it was maybe Cal training Marin because of the gray hair, but I doubt it. The garb that this individual is wearing seems very similar to the High Republic, so this might be Cal training the High Republic Jedi or a different High Republic individual. Or it might be like the other saber-wielding individual we've seen in other trailers, that maybe Rayvis or the High Republic Jedi have somehow gathered up sabers to be given to their bounty hunter friends, and this is just one that Cal has to fight. The next cutscene is another cool companion fight scene with Cal and Bode fighting some stormtroopers. Next, we get more Rayvis gameplay. You can see more of Rayvis's tentacles. It seems like this fight is further in. Then we see what seems to be a finishing move, but this probably is just a cutscene in the middle of the boss fight, seeing as Rayvis is not going down. This seems like it's either going to be a cut-off boss fight that ends in us running away or Rayvis running away, or a super long boss fight because we're fighting a Gendai, which are notoriously difficult to kill. And then, the title scene with the release date of April 28th. As well as all the scenes, we get a voiceover over the entire trailer, which is read by Cere, that states, "You were only a child when they sent you off to war. Now look at you. The weight of a galaxy on your shoulders. I cannot tell you who you must become, or where the line is drawn. There are no easy choices. These are dark times. We have few allies. The odds are against us, and they will always be against us. But I can tell you this, if there is any hope of surviving, we must stand against the darkness." This sounds very much like Cal is struggling with how far to go, whether that be with the dark side, or how much to fight against the Empire. But Cere doesn't have any answers for him. She just knows that they must fight back in some way. Alright, so that's it. There are so many exciting new things in this trailer leading into the final weeks before Jedi Survivor officially comes out. I can't wait to play this game. With everything new that they've shared, I just get more and more excited to jump into the world that the game devs have built up so lovingly. So what was your favorite part of this trailer? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with all the Jedi Survivor news and me, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And as always, thank you for watching. May the Force be with you. Goodbye!